another episode of Worldview with me, Gaurie Dwivedi. Today I am going to talk about whether or not New Delhi and Tel Aviv are set for a tighter, closer embrace and the larger impact of that for India and of course for the world. First up, till the mid-90s, India did not recognize Israel formally, and it's only after that that there has been closer cooperation between the two governments. Under Prime Minister Modi's tenure, of course, both India and Israel saw a further step up as far as deepening of their ties and larger economic participation as well as partnerships. In the last couple of days, fresh MOUs have been signed between the two sides on technological collaborations. Now, why is it that it's important? As far as technology is concerned, Israel does have access to cutting-edge R&D, both civil as well as military. And that is something that New Delhi desperately needs. Now, as far as civil capabilities are concerned, there can be greater R&D participation on several of our pressing issues. And more importantly, as far as military engagements are concerned, given the fact that Israel is a treaty partner of the United States, it has access to some cutting-edge military equipment. Israeli arms are the best in the world, because of course they have access to US weaponry. One of the reasons why UAE in fact embraced Israel, not because they like Benjamin Netanyahu, not because they're in love with Israel, but because they want US arms and US weapons, and the only route to that is through recognition of Israel, something that Egypt learned a long time back and is UAE and others are learning only now. Anyways, that is something that India can now access in terms of building partnerships, leveraging that, and also in terms of clean water, storage, whole host of other areas, they can actually tie in much closer. Other important bit is that as far as the Mediterranean Sea policy is concerned, there has been growing interest from the Chinese. Whether you take the Haifa port or several other areas in that region, India can also look to work closely with Israel. It may not compete directly with Costco or any of the giants of Chinese logistics industry, but can nevertheless look to have a presence there to be able to ensure and secure its open lines of communication, the seas, as they call it, the seas, lines of communication. That is something that will be extremely important. Last but not the least, having deeper engagement with Israel also means, and especially in the backdrop of so many other Gulf nations recognizing Israel, it also has a larger bearing in terms of India's Gulf strategy. Arab strategy, Gulf strategy. And that could also have a bearing as far as India's energy needs and energy requirements are concerned. Securing those, of course, are extremely important, given that we import 80% of our energy needs. All of that ties in well when you, of course, have a much closer partnership between Tel Aviv and New Delhi. Thanks much for watching this edition of Worldview. I'm going to be back on Mondays at 9 p.m. with another interesting such topic, an issue that reverberates around the world, and New Delhi's impact.